Just need to start this episode, part 3, by just changing something we did in the last episode. I told you to put a bit of redstone down, and I told you to put it in the wrong place. So apologies for that. It's only a little fix, but it's very important that you do it. So you need to get over to the south side of your farm. There's north. Get over to the southwest corner of your farm, and we need to change this little bit of dust here. Now I told you to run a bit of dust from this torch into this little hopper clock here. You need to actually move it from there over to here, over to underneath this torch. So grab yourself a slab, and you need to put a slab just there. Okay, and then you can delete all of these, pop these out, and just put a bit of dust just there. It does the same job, but it uses the repeater and the block to put power into the timer rather than the redstone torch directly, because we need that redstone torch to power a sticky piston with an observer on it. So apologies for that. Just move the line slightly up so it's affected by the block on the sticky piston rather than directly by the redstone torch. Apologies for that. Now we need to put in the circuit that resets the doors after the first 30 villagers have been created. So grab yourself some slabs. You need to put a temporary slab just there. This is why we had to move this line. So put a temporary slab there and one next to it. And then you want to run a line of slabs backwards down the farm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 slabs down to there. So that is now level with those repeaters. And then on the end of those slabs, you want to put down a solid block. The last one needs to be a solid block. Okay? And then you want to come back over to where the torch is. And on this slab, facing that way, facing towards the outside of your farm, you need to put down a sticky piston. So it's going to be activated by that torch. On the sticky piston, on the face of this sticky piston, you need to put an observer block with the smiley face detection part facing the sticky piston and the redstone part facing outwards. So when the piston moves, it's going to put a pulse out of this side of the observer. Don't be putting it this way round. You put it that way round with the smiley face on the outside, it's not going to work. Don't be putting it like that, it won't work. Don't put it like that, it won't work. Okay, you want to look at the piston, put it down like that. Then you want to take out your repeaters and you want to put a repeater there, and then you want to put a repeater there and a repeater there. Okay, so you've missed a space. That the observer is going to be pushed out into that space there, so you can't have anything there. You've got the repeater there instead of redstone, so it doesn't link up with the redstone above it. And you also need the repeaters for some delay anyway. Then you want to put a bit of redstone there and there, and a bit of redstone there. Okay, so that repeater stops the dust from linking to the line below it. But again, it also adds delay. And you need to put these 3 repeaters on maximum delay. Then you want to grab your repeaters again, and you need to put a line of 7 repeaters from this block here that's got the dust on it all the way to this block here. And these all need to be on 4 ticks. So when the last village, the 30th village, is created, this torch is going to come on. It's going to power that sticky piston, which is going to move the observer, which is going to put a pulse through this repeater. And the delay means that the village, the last village, will have chance to form before all of the villages, all of the doors get reset. So it's important to put this delay on. If you don't put the delay on it, there's a very good chance that all of the villages will get reset before the last village, the 30th village, is created. So you don't want that, which is why we need the delay. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now, sticking with your repeaters, you need to put a repeater on that block there, and you need to put a repeater going into the reset line like that. And both of these want to be on 4 ticks, and then just link them both together with a bit of dust. Then coming out of that reset block, you need 3 more repeaters. All of these set on the maximum 4-tick delay. And then you want a repeater going into that block there. That's the block that's connected to the torch tower that fires the top dispenser. And then link those together with a little bit of redstone dust, like that. Okay, so when the 30th village is created, the observer comes out, the pulse is put through. Here, it goes through this block, which at the moment is up because our villager is down the bottom, so that block is up. So that allows the system, all of the doors, to be reset. And when it's reset, a few ticks after, all of the lights go out. That dispenser is fired, water is dispensed, the villager rises up to put him in range of the top doors. Okay. His head is then in the tripwire, which unactivates that sticky piston, which lowers this block. The next time all 30 doors are created and this sticky piston fires, the observer comes out, the pulse goes down this line of redstone, but that block has been retracted because the villager is at the top. So that signal ends there, stopping all of the doors being reset, which is why we have to do it. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now we have to do something very, very similar in the other corner. So get yourself over to the opposite corner. This is the northeast corner, or the left-hand side of the farm as you're looking at it from the front, if you prefer. And then grab your slabs, and you need to put down your temporary slab again and a slab there, and then run a line of slabs backwards down the farm. Now, remember earlier in the tutorial, I said we might have to play with these redstone lines later on because they could well be in the way. Well, this is one of the occasions where we have to just jiggle this about a little bit, and it's not a big fix, or it's not a big move, so don't worry, but you need to pop out that repeater and that bit of dust and that block, and you need to drop this down by 1 block. So stick a slab in there, extend the dust there, and then you want to pop out that bit of dust and replace it with a repeater. Okay? And then you want to put another slab just there, and then finish it off with a solid block. So now we've got exactly the same as we have over in the other corner, but we just had to manipulate this dust and move the redstone torch, move the repeater. Now just double check that this redstone line doesn't exceed 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. So that should be fine. Then take out your sticky piston. Put a sticky piston just there, so it's activated by your redstone torch. Put your observer on the face of it. Miss a space. Put a repeater on 4 ticks. 2 bits of dust. 2 repeaters on 4 ticks. And a piece of dust. And then a line of repeaters on 4 ticks going into that block. Like that. Then you want to run a repeater coming out of that block on 4 ticks and one going into the reset block on 4 ticks, and then just join those together like that. And then you need to put some repeaters coming out of the reset switch, all on 4 ticks, and just join them up with the repeater that goes into the block that activates the torch tower, that activates the top dispenser. So now you should have that. Now we've got all the redstone in, now's as good a time as any to give it a proper test. So get over to the northwest corner of your farm, the west side of the farm. You need to stick in some water buckets in your dispensers. Now remember, the minecart is going to come down the column there and go over a detector rail. There's going to put a pulse through that line of redstone. It's going to come all the way around there into this ingenious frill switch. So we'll press that first. The first farm should activate. The first door should activate. And also, your bottom dispenser should dispense the water. So now the villager is moved up one. He's within range of those doors. Those first 11 doors now have been validated, and there's a villager to validate the doors. Now don't worry that this redstone here has caused the doors to turn around. That won't make any difference at all. They're still orientated the correct way, so don't worry about that. But that bit's working. Now just press this button, making sure that the doors increment in the correct order. So we'll do that until we get to the end. Okay, so 29 villagers have been created. 30th one is just about to be. It's created. The pulse comes down this line. Resets all of the doors. And the top dispenser dispenses the water. Now, the villager's going to come up here and he's going to put his head, or most of his body, into that tripwire. So we'll just stick a lever on here to simulate that, because that is going to be powered, which is going to unpower that line. And then we just need to do it again. So the first door is created, but it's also fired the bottom dispenser, which should have sucked back in the water. So there it is. That's brilliant. And then we'll just test this again so they're all working. We know they're all working because it's exactly the same as the first time. So we'll just flick these all the way down to the end. Okay, so now 59 villagers have been created. This is the final village. Pulse comes down there, but it stopped because that piston is retracted, which means that the villagers or the doors aren't reset. So that is working perfectly. Now, if this is not in the spawn chunks and all of the villagers have been mulched into one massive village and you have to reset it, we'll stick a reset switch somewhere in the middle. But in effect, it's going to send a pulse to both sides of the farm, and it's going to send it to this particular block here. So if we press that block, everything should reset and all of these dispensers should retract and the water should stop flowing. So brilliant. And obviously the villager is no longer in the string. Therefore, that piston is extended, which activates that line again. So this is working perfectly. But it's always, as I mentioned earlier, good practice to check it before we do any more. So that's the bottom part of the farm done, apart from the reset switch that we'll do right at the very end. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now I think it's time to start putting in some of the door platforms on the west hand side. So get yourself over to the west. Now you're going to need a lot of blocks. You're going to need a lot of lighting, preferably jack-o'-lanterns, because you can put doors on jack-o'-lanterns. If you're using torches or you're using glowstone or sea lanterns, you'll have to put the lighting above the doors. I'm going to be using jack-o'-lanterns because then I can make the platforms out of lighting and I can put the doors on top of it. So grab yourself some blocks, get to the block, this block here, on the west hand side of your farm, north, east, south, west hand side, this block, and you want to put down 3 blocks. So stand on the block, count up 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be where your first door platform is going to go. So stick a block there, and then you want to count 5 blocks that way and 5 blocks that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to make this too deep, so you want to do exactly the same again behind it. and then you want to extend out the back by another 1 block. So 1 block there, and this wants to be 2 wide. So now you've got a platform that's 11 by 1, 11 by 1, and then 5 by 1. And then if you've got jack-o'-lanterns, pop out those 2 blocks there, replace them with jack-o'-lanterns. If you're using sea lanterns or torches, then you might have to put an extra block there and there, and just stick a torch on it. Like that. But once you've got the doors on, if you're not using jack-o'-lanterns, you're using torches, just make sure that you double check the light levels by pressing F3 and looking at the block light level, and make sure it's 8 or above. If it's not, then things are going to spawn on here and there are going to be tears. Yeah, sticking 2 torches there and there is enough to light up this entire floor. But obviously that's up to you how you light it up. Just light it up, I guess, is what I'm saying. But I'm using jack-o'-lanterns because you can put doors on jack-o'-lanterns. Now we need to just cover all of that platform with doors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And again, with the doors underneath, you need to put them so you're facing either east or west. Don't put them facing north and south and then open them, because like I said before, this looks exactly the same, but those doors will be invalid. Okay, so make sure you're facing east or west when you're placing the doors, and it doesn't matter whether they're east or whether they're west, as long as they are one or the other. So now you should have your first door platform, and it should look like that. Now jump back on this center block again, the block that you're using to build all the way up, and you need to count up 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is going to be your second door platform. And this platform is just a little bit smaller. This one is 9 by 2. So block back 1, and you need to go left and right 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And fill these in. And then 4 over this side. And again, if you've got jack-o'-lanterns, brilliant. If you've got sea lanterns or torches, you're just going to have to put the light somewhere else. And now you want to put doors on top of all of these blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 18. That's your second door platform. Back on your block again, and you want to count up 14 blocks. 1, 4, 14 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is your third platform. This one is going to be 5 by 2. Like that. And then again, stick your doors on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back on your center block, back on your building block. Now you want to go up 25 blocks. This platform, this door platform, is going to only be 3 wide, 1 by 3. So stick yourself down your jack-o'-lantern if you're using jack-o'-lanterns. 1 by 3. Stick on your 3 doors. Perfect. Back on your block again. Now you need to pillar up 30 blocks. 30. 30. And this is just going to be one single door right at the very top. This is the first door. So we're going to make this out of jack-o'-lanterns. Again, if you want to make it out of a block and put a torch behind it, then that's great. It's entirely up to you. So that's your top door. So now you should have something that looks like this. Now these door placements are really, really precise. So you do need to double check that you've got these on the right levels, because if the doors are slightly off, then the villagers or the village won't be pulled down correctly and villagers will join together and the farm just won't work. So these do need to be precise. Now, just as a double check, and you know I'm a big fan of double checking, get yourself down to the bottom on this platform and take the measurement that you're standing on. So F3, we're currently standing on Y equals 14. And then get yourself up to the top, ladders or elytra. Stand on this door platform, the top door platform. Take the measurement of that. That's Y level 97. The difference between the two should be 83. So as long as the distance between the roof, the floor that you stood on, and this floor where your first door is 83, then you've put the doors in the right place. Now we need to put the roof on above the top of the doors. That's going to validate all of these doors. So you want to get back on top of your tower, your block tower, level with the top door platform, and you want to count upwards another 10 blocks. And this is going to be where your roof is. And your roof is going to be 15 by 5. So if you count 7 blocks one way and 7 blocks the other, that should give you 15 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 5. And then just count another 7 blocks on the other side. Now you want to fill all of this in to make a big 15 by 5 platform. So now you've got that. And this does two things. Firstly, it validates the doors, but secondly, it acts as a lightning shield for your villager. When your villager's not going around and validating all the doors, he's going to stand about here in his minecart. So that will prevent him from being struck by lightning and turned into a witch. Now, this is completely spawnable. You are going to get mobs up here, so either light it up, spam down some torches, stick down some glowstone, or just cover the top with slabs, which is what I'm going to do. So now you've got that. So now we've done that, we can jump back onto the center block, make sure that you're stood on top of the right block before you start digging through it, and then just dig yourself down, and you can dig yourself all the way back down to the farm. Now you've pretty much done the door platform, so you don't need these blocks anymore. Get rid of them, and we'll start on the tube that the villager is going to fall down when he's validating the doors. So now we'll do the tube that the villager falls down. Now there is really no easy way to do this in survival, so apologies for that. It's going to be much easier for me flying around, but for you guys it's going to be really, really difficult. There's just no easy way of doing it. I'm sure by the end, when you've created the very last one over there, you'll be an absolute expert on it. But this is going to be fiddly. It's going to be trial and error. There's going to be lots of scaffolding blocks everywhere. But it needs to be done. And what you need to do is, if you are putting scaffolding up while you're building this, and you probably will be careful when you're breaking it that none of the scaffolding falls into the hoppers. Because if the scaffolding blocks fall into the hoppers, it's going to affect the timings, and the timings are very, very important. So double check your hoppers when you've finished knocking everything down, just to make sure that you've only got the blocks in there that you want in there. So grab yourself your solid blocks, and we're going to build another tower like we did for putting the doors in, but this one we're going to build so we can put the switches in. So find this block again on the west hand side, that one there. You want to come 2 blocks towards the inside of your farm here, and then you want to count up 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the inside of this block, you want to put down a redstone block. This is going to be the block that your first rail is going to be on. So the villagers are going to fall down the tube here. They're going to land on a powered rail here and then shoot off somewhere else. So that's that. Now count up another 2 blocks. 1, 2. And you need to put a fence gate against that block. Now, as I mentioned, this is not going to be easy to do. I'm going to do it by flying, but it's really not going to be easy for you to do. And then you want to count up another 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And put another fence gate just there. That one can be open. That's going to have some water on top of it. Now, this is where the fun begins. You need to grab a solid block and you need to put it on the left-hand side. We'll look at it from the inside. You want to put the solid block on the left-hand side of that bottom fence gate, like that. Then you want to block up 2 blocks, temporary blocks, and put another block just there. Okay, that can come out. And then you want to block over to the other side and break out those blocks in the middle, and these 2 blocks are going to have your tripwires on them. So put a couple of tripwire hooks on there, and then a bit of string in the middle. So when your villager now falls down the middle, when he's stood on this fence gate, he's inside the tripwire. The tripwire will be activated. Now what you need to do is grab some hoppers, and you need to put a hopper underneath the block on the right, that block there, and then you want to crouch and put another hopper leading into it. And then you need to break the first hopper and put another hopper going back into the second hopper. So you've got the hoppers bouncing stuff from one side to the other. And then on the side of the block above the hopper, you need to put a redstone torch. Now that will lock this hopper until somebody lands in the string. When somebody lands in the string, this block gets powered, which locks this hopper, but it unpowers that torch, which releases this hopper. So any items in this hopper will then flow through to this hopper. Okay? Now grab your blocks again, your solid blocks. You need to put a temporary block underneath your hopper and then one next to it. You can pop that out. Now on top of this block, you're going to need a comparator. So grab your comparator, put a comparator just there. Now off the face of that comparator, you'll need a block, a solid block, like that. And on the face of this, opposite the comparator, just here, you'll need a redstone torch. Now you want the redstone torch to light a bit of dust, so you want to come down, put a block there, temporary block underneath it, break that one. You can now put a bit of redstone dust on there. That will now power the gate. Okay, so now you've got that. Now these blocks on the side are going to be spawnable, and also the block there, the hopper, you can't cover the hopper there because of the torch, but things will still be able to spawn onto it. And as I say, these are spawnable. So grab yourself a light source, a torch. We'll use torches. And just stick a couple of torches on top of there, and that's going to prevent things from spawning there. Now, the majority of the rest of these open spaces are going to be filled up with glass, probably. I mean, you can use solid blocks if you want, but if you use solid blocks, you won't be able to see the villager going around and round. So it's probably going to be filled up with glass. So grab yourself your glass, and then fill the rest of the area up with the glass wherever you can. So double check again that you've got glass in there, because we are going to be putting water in here and we don't want water spilling out everywhere. And then you want to raise this column up, this glass column up, by another 2 blocks. We'll put solid blocks at the back. Like that. And then you need to grab some water and stick some water just there. It's got to be, you've got to have 2 gaps or 2 blocks of flowing water above the open fence gate. Like that. Now, it goes without saying that you need to make sure that you've got solid blocks, glass or you know, solid blocks when you're playing with water, because if that runs out, it's going to run down, it's going to ruin everything. Okay, so now you should have something that looks like that. Now we need to block up another 3 blocks from just above the water. So 1, 2, 3. You should be now level with your second door platform. And on the face of that block, you need to put another fence gate. And then block up another 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And then you need another fence gate. Like that. That one can be open. And now we need to put another switch, exactly the same as we've done down there, on here. So start by taking out your solid block, put a solid block there, then block up 2, and out by 1, that's going to be your tripwire hook. And then across to the other side. Tripwire hook and string in the middle. Redstone torch there, and then your hoppers. A hopper, then a hopper facing into it. Knock it out, and then a hopper facing back into it, so they're both facing into each other. Temporary block and a block just there for your comparator. Block on the face of your comparator with a redstone torch on it. Then a block there for your redstone dust. Fence gate should open. And then fill the rest in with glass again. And then raise the column up again by another 2 blocks. And stick in a bucket of water after you've double checked that there are no holes. Like that. Now you need to continue this column up until you're level with the door platform just above you. So 9 blocks up, you're now level with that door platform. You can put another fence gate just there. Block up another 3 blocks, and then a fence gate just there. And then same again, grab yourself your solid block, solid block. Then fill it in with glass. And then raise it up by another 2 blocks and put your water in. So the water is very important because if the villager falls down, even in a minecart, if he's in a boat, he can fall down as far as he likes. And if he's in a minecart and he falls down onto rails, he can fall as far as he likes. But if he's in a minecart and he falls down onto solid block or a fence gate, unless he has something to break his fall, he's going to take fall damage. And I forgot to open that fence gate, so be careful you don't forget to open the fence gates as well. Double check those, because if you do, obviously the villager's going to stop there. He's not going to continue going around, so double check. So the villager falls down into the water. That breaks his fall before he hits that fence gate. If the water wasn't there, he'd fall down, bump, and he'd be dead. Okay, so now we should have that. Now we need to block up the back again until we're level with that door platform. Like that. And then we have a fence gate on the face of this. You know the drill by now. Block up 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Fence gate. And then you put the drop switch in again. Like that. And then fill it up with glass. Double check. Up by another 2. And put your water in. Okay, one more to go. Block up all the way to the door platform, your top door platform. Okay. Fence gate there. Block up another 3. Fence gate there. And put in your final switch. And fill it up with glass. Up 2 more blocks. And put your water in. So now we've just got to put one more switch right at the top, which is going to be the switch that holds the villager there while the system isn't working, or while the system isn't resetting. So stick yourself down a solid block right at the very top, just above the water. Stick yourself a fence gate on that one, like that. And then you want to put you want to do exactly the same as you did with the other switches. So block on the side. And then fill all the way up to the top. The villager is going to come in over this block here. He's going to come in here, and then he's going to land on the tripwire there. So fill these sides up with glass, and then you're going to have to leave the front open, because this is going to be where the rails come in. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now we do need to give this a proper test. And to do that, you need to get it. Well, first of all, you need to put some items, stackable items in stacks of 64. They need to be stackable in 64s. You need to put 15 items in this particular hopper. In that one. You can hear all the fence gates closing as you're doing this. In that one. And 15 in the top one. No, sorry, 15 in the second to top one. That one there. Now 15 items equates to about 6 seconds, which is about the time on average, or that actually it's the longest it should take a villager to recognize a door. It might only take a fraction of a second, but it could take up to 6 seconds, which is why we need the delay. If we didn't need the delay, we'd just drop him straight down using a vine or a ladder or something, and he would just go all the way down, registering the doors as he went. But I've tried that, and to be honest, sometimes he doesn't register the doors. He goes by too quickly, which is why we need this mechanism in to stop him from doing that. And then at the very top, this one, you're going to need 55 items, but we'll put those in a second, okay? Because I want to test this to make sure it's working okay. So get yourself to the top and just walk in and stand on the tripwire. And after 6 seconds, you should fall through. Now, if you fall down and you take damage, your villager is going to fall down and take damage. So it's another check to make sure that, because if your villager takes half a heart's damage every time he goes around the cycle, you might not notice him doing it, but after 20 cycles, well, 40 cycles, he's going to die. So it's important. Perfect. It's important that you check it to make sure that you don't take any damage, because checking it now is easier than troubleshooting it right at the very end. So now we've checked to make sure all of that is working. We just need to stick in 55 items in this top hopper. And that's that side completed. Almost. Now there are just a couple of things left for us to do to finish this side off. The first one, which is very important, I told you to put 55 items in the top hopper. I'm afraid I've made a mistake. It's actually 84. Okay. So you need to put 60, stack of 64 and 20. It needs to be 84, not 55. Okay, apologies for that. Needs to be 84 items in there, not 55. Now we need to connect a line via a torch tower from here all the way up to the top. So grab yourself a repeater, and you want to put a repeater going into that block there, okay, like that. And then above that repeater you need to put a redstone lamp. Doesn't have to be a lamp, but if it's a lamp you're going to know when it's on. It just makes it easier. So you need a redstone lamp just there. Then stick yourself a lever on any side you like. It's probably going to be better putting it on the north side, because we're going to be having a signal coming out of these this little hopper clock here running into this side of the block. So put the lever on the north side of the block. Just there. And now you want to do a torch tower all the way up to the top. Now this is where jump 2 really pays for itself, because if you have jump 2 you can put a redstone torch and then jump up high enough to be able to put a block on top of it. If you don't have jump 2 you won't be able to do that. So now you need to run a line of blocks and torches all the way up. And I'll tell you when to stop when we get there. So you want to run your torch tower all the way up until the top torch, the top redstone torch, is level with your top fence gate. And then you need to run a line of blocks around the outside like that. And then one up like that. And then a line of redstone dust coming off of your torch around to there. And that's going to lock that block. And once that block is locked, it's going to lock this hopper, which will stop the fence gate from opening. Okay, so at the moment it's turned off. And if we just go down and double check, the bottom is off. So if we turn the top on, if we turn this block on, obviously the redstone lamp comes on. So we know it's on. Back up to the top redstone torch is on, which has locked this hopper, which is going to stop that fence gate from opening. Now we need to run a line, a redstone line from this hopper, from the left-hand side hopper, as we're looking at it here, this one, the one closest to the rest of the redstone, into this block, into the redstone lamp. So we need to take a signal out of the hopper there using a comparator, and then we need to put down a redstone repeater, and we need to run this via a line just up here. And we need to run it into that block there. But we need to be careful not to mess with this line, interfere with this line here. So if we put down a couple of blocks there and there, and then we add a repeater just there, and then we can put that up onto there, and then using a repeater, put it into that block. So now, when this redstone torch is off, remember when we've got the last village created, this will power the torch, turning the torch off. So all the items will then flow from this hopper into this hopper, which will put a signal through this line of redstone dust into here, effectively turning off the iron farm. So now you should have something that looks like that. Okay, so here we are. We've got to do a similar column that's on the west side. We've now got to do that on the east side. Now, I've spent quite a lot of time trying to explain what this does, how it does it, what to do, how to build it. I'm going to try and rattle through the east side a little bit quicker in order to shorten the videos. This is getting very, very long, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to try and rattle through the other side a little bit quicker. So find this block, same as it was on the other side, this guy here, and you need to block up 5 blocks. And this is going to be the level of your first doors on the east side. And this door platform is going to be 15 by 3, like that. And we're going to stick a bit of lighting in there like we did on the other side. And then we're just going to cover it with wooden doors. Remember, placing them east to west. So that's your first door platform on the east side. Done. Now we need to block up another 7 blocks to do the second door platform. 7. So the next door platform starts here. And this door platform is 9 by 3. Couple of light sources. Cover it with doors. Door platform number 2, done. Now we need to block up by another 15 blocks. And this door platform is 9 by 2. Bit of lighting and then the doors. Third platform done. Now we need to block up by 25 blocks. 25, build another door platform that is also 9 by 2. One more to go, we just need to go up now by 31 blocks. 31, the top platform is going to be 1 by 3. So that's all of the doors on the east side.